What's up, guys? I'm JJ.
I'm Angel.
And this is PM Football. Ohio State and Notre Dame are the final two teams. Who would have thought before the season started, Ohio State and Notre Dame would have been the final two teams left in the college football playoff?
I think there's a good amount of people that probably would have predicted Ohio State probably would have had a good shot. Me, as well as I think a lot of people are pretty surprised Notre Dame has made it as far as they have.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State is the $20 million roster.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there were a lot of expectations on them, but
yeah.
I think they've even exceeded those expectations because, again, it's Ryan Day there.
Especially with how the season ended. Like, you lose to Michigan. Michigan goes to your place. And I know the scoreline doesn't exactly say it, but that was a butt whooping. Like, they went into Columbus and just dominated them, really.
Yeah.
So, if you have told me after the Michigan game that Ohio State would make the national championship, I mean, they were my dark horse, which is kind of crazy to say, Ohio State being a dark horse, but I did not think they would have made it as far as they have. So, good for them. Good for both teams, really, because, again, I don't think a lot of people had Notre Dame making it as far as the national championship.
I certainly didn't, especially after losing Benjamin Morrison early in the season.
Good.
Like, he's probably your best player in your team. And I again, losing to Northern Illinois, to me, really shifted gears for me on them.
And we were really vocal about that during the season when they'd be ranked like the top 10, top 15. Us and a lot of people, I feel like, were saying, how are they ranked this high? Like, it was almost like the committee was ignoring that loss to NIU. But they've really bounced back from that. They have really stuck together. And now they're competing for a national championship.
Yep.
So it's really exciting to see, and I cannot wait for Monday.
Yeah, I know Monday's going to be really fun. I think a very low-scoring game, if I had to put money
on it. I think it's
going
to be really defensive, really low scoring.
Yeah.
Who do you have winning it? Let's go straight into predictions.
If I have to push all the chips into the middle of the table, I'm going to be putting my money on, and I hate doing this, but I'm going to be putting it on Ohio State. I think Ohio State has a very very elite defense, a very, very good run game. The passing game is where it's scary. But I'm taking Ohio State's passing game over Notre Dame's passing game. I think that's where it's going to come down to. Both the defenses are elite. Both run games are very good. But Notre Dame won a game in the playoff throwing 96 passing yards.
Yep.
I'm taking the team that has the best receiver in the country without the opposing team having their best corner.
Yeah.
I'm taking Ohio State. How about you?
Well, I'm kind of on a hot streak right now with college football, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. I said last week, Penn State wasn't going to win because at the end of the day, James Franklin is going to do what James Franklin does. He chokes it away. I also said Texas was going to lose last week because at the end of the day, Texas is Texas. They're going to find a way to mess it all up. Pretty similar to this week. At the end of the day, history repeats itself. Ryan Day is the LeBron James of James Franklin's.
Yeah.
He is going to find a way to throw this game away. And I also said last week that this is not the Notre Dame team that everyone's used to. This is a different Notre Dame team. I have Notre Dame winning it all.
I see where you're coming from. It's hard to not take Ohio State in this.
History repeats itself. Don't blame me. Blame history. It's not me. I'm just telling you what history is telling us.
You're the messenger.
I'm Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Angel Damas.
I'm
just telling you what history is saying. History is saying Ryan Day is going to find a way to mess this up. And I'm a big Marcus Freeman guy, too. Yeah. I think he is a leader of men. He's been a great head coach.
Getting NFL
interest, exactly, as he should. I have Notre Dame. I agree with you, though. Very low scoring. I would choose the under if I were betting on this, which I might. We'll see. I would choose the under. Very defensive, very strategic. And I think at the end of the day, Notre Dame's defense is going to pull out and win them the game.
I'm scared of Will Howard throwing a pick. That would be one thing I'd be scared of happening. Although I don't trust Riley Leonard completely either.
I don't necessarily either, but I think that offense as a whole, when they need something to happen, they make it happen.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, I think this is going to be one of the best college football playoff championship games in recent memory.
I agree, yeah.
And I think going full view of the entirety of the college football playoff this season, what did you think of the first year with the 12-team playoff?
As a whole, overall, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I know the first round sucked, wasn't that exciting to watch. But as a whole, especially the semifinal games, I think it went well. How about you?
I am on tape or on film saying last week that I think they should change some things and do reseeding. But after sitting and watching this past week of college football, I think the two best teams currently in college football ended up in the national championship game. And that's what this whole playoff was designed for.
Yeah.
Was to find a way to get the best two teams in the country in the championship game.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we are.
It is interesting because, and I'm not disagreeing, I think these are the two. Not that they're not the two best teams, but I don't even know how I'm trying to say this. Like, if we were still doing the 4-team playoff, these teams would not be in.
No.
I'm not going to deny that they aren't the two best teams because at the end of the day, they're in the national championship. Yeah. Their record's telling everyone they are the two best teams.
Mm-hmm.
However, it would be interesting to see who would be in the national championship if the seeding was different.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, the G5 school should be the 12th seed, and I understand why they had the bye. Their only loss was to a number 1 Oregon team. They lost by 3.
Yeah.
I get that.
And I'm okay with that.
I get that, but
I'm okay with it being them cemented into 12.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. I think as a G5 school, you have to earn your... I'm not saying these teams aren't earning their way, but I think especially as a G5 school, you really have to earn your way to advance to that next round.
Yeah. I mean, I think if any year were to be the year where a Group of 5 school should have earned a bye, it'd be this year. Boise State, they were a very strong team the entire season.
Well, if we're being honest, they just had
one player was a very strong player for the entire season.
Yeah.
But guess what? He plays for that team, so...
Yeah. Reps it hard, too. I like that he reps it hard.
Yeah.
I respect that.
He could have gone to any team in the country and decided, nope, I'm staying in Boise, Idaho, and I'm going to take this team on my back. And he did. He almost won the Heisman. Should have won the Heisman.
He should and will never pay for a drink in Idaho ever again.
No.
Good for him.
Will I be surprised if he never goes back to Idaho ever again?
I mean, I'm assuming they'll probably do put in the Ring of Honor.
He will have his name retired, his name.
He'll have a section in the stands.
You were gonna have to pay to say his name in Idaho.
Yeah, as they should.
They're gonna copyright his name.
Yeah, as they should. He's a legend there.
The stadium's gonna be named after him after probably this season.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize Boise State.
He means to that.
Boise State outside of Ashton Genty has had one other guy that I can only that's the only guy I can think of from Boise State, and it's Kellen Moore.
Charles Leno.
Sure.
Big Charles Leno guy.
I'm sure you are. But
no, I didn't like him.
Yeah, no, he sucked.
No, he was awful.
But no, Ashton Genty is a dog.
Yeah.
And we'll never have to do
I think it'll be a very long while until we see another running back like him.
Yeah. And again, full circle moment. I was okay with Boise State being 3 this year. In the future, though, especially with what happened this year and as good of a team as they were.
And I would even say this year, if you remember a few years ago when Desmond Ridder was the quarterback for Cincinnati, they made the 14 playoff. Yeah. And, it didn't go well for them. I think that's what I'm saying, no matter what, I think the G5 school should be that 12 seed.
What about UCF?
They were the national champions according to Scott Frost.
They won the national championship.
So, yeah.
By beating, what was it, Jared Stidham?
Something like that.
They beat Auburn or something.
They beat Auburn or LSU.
It was the Peach Bowl. Yeah. Or it was Burrow. Wasn't it Joe
No,
Burrow?
it was not Burrow. I promise you. No, Burrow was like either still in high school or still in Ohio State. That was like way earlier.
Okay.
Because that was like 2017 when that happened or something.
Was it
like that?
We're old.
We are old. It's depressing.
But yeah, no, I think in general, very successful first year in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
We're going to do something a little different.
Yes.
We're going to move ahead, way ahead.
Yes, we have a list, a consensus between the two of us of a too early Heisman prediction for next season. Let's start off at number 3. Or let's start off for honorable mention, actually.
We each, so again, the top 3 are consensus. We both think
Yeah.
all 3 of these guys. Both of our honorable mentions are different.
Yeah, my honorable mention is DJ Lagway, quarterback out of Florida. He showed a lot of great flashes. I'm not that big of a fan of Florida in general, but I think this kid is special. I think he deserves to be an honorable mention for next year's Heisman.
Yep. And I think I got a sign to flip my pick. And you know why I'm saying this.
Yes.
I'm taking Fernando Mendoza.
Okay.
Fernando Mendoza is a transfer quarterback. For people that don't even know who he is, he was at Cal this year. He was a quarterback for Cal. Almost single-handedly beat Miami. Almost ruined their chances of making it, even though they didn't even end up making it at all.
Almost ruined it earlier.
Fernando Mendoza is transferring to Indiana. Rourke. I'm blanking on what his first name is right now. But Rourke, the quarterback at Indiana this year, was in the Heisman race. And I think Fernando Mendoza is a significantly better quarterback than him. So he is a dark horse for me for a Heisman candidate. I think he can only get better. And Indiana almost had a Heisman candidate this year.
It's crazy.
Why can't they do it again next year with an even better quarterback?
I feel you.
It's an honorable mention, by the way. This is just I'm hoping.
Yeah.
It would make me look smart.
On to our top 3 list. Number 3, Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback out of LSU.
Yeah.
Showed a lot of great potential, showed a lot of great flashes this year. I'm really excited to see what he does next year. It's not easy going into a season replacing a Heisman Trophy winner, and I think he handled it very well. Yeah. And I'm excited to see what he does next season.
Yeah, I think Garrett Nussmeier had a very overperforming year. Like, I think he exceeded a lot of people's expectations, and not a lot of people had very high hopes
I
of
think
him.
just a lot of people didn't exactly know what to expect out of him. Because not to, like, him and Jaden have similar things. Like, people underestimate the kind of athlete Nussmeier is, but, like, they have a lot of differences in their styles.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of differences.
Yeah. I'm just simply trying to say that people underestimate him as an athlete.
Sure. Okay. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean he even if his best friend was going to come back next year, it doesn't look like he's going to be coming back because he might not ever come back.
He might be a free man.
Yeah. You're pretty sad about that, I bet.
He was supposed to be a commander.
Yeah, it was going to be a happy story, and
I mean, he'll be playing with an NFL player. He'll be playing with I'm blanking on his name.
Who?
Guy from the Raiders.
Oh, Henry Ruggs.
He'll be playing.
That's
going to
be the best.
Ruggs.
That might be the best 1 and 2.
Dude.
They're beating the guards.
Absolutely. There's no shot, dude. Like,
all they need is Adam Sandler.
If only OJ was still alive.
Adam Sandler.
Those two and OJ. There's no prison guards. There's no prisoners stopping that three. Like, no one's stopping that 3-headed monster.
Paul Cruz just has to throw
Emphasis
the ball up.
on the monster.
Yeah.
Number 2, Drew Aller, quarterback out of Penn State.
Now, this doesn't look like a very pretty pick with what just happened with Drew Aller, but he has a lot of tools that a lot of people like. And by that, I mean he has a strong arm and is mobile. Yeah. Like, if you have those two things in today's age
you could be a very successful college quarterback with those two things.
Yep.
For sure. And he'll be in the offense that he already knows.
Yeah, and they've already announced those 2 running backs, Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton, are going to be back next year. So
why not? Why not run it back?
They just need Tyler Warren to say, "Hey, I need another year." That's not happening. Because he's going to be a first-round pick. But
he's going to be gone.
Drew Aller, I'm expecting big things from him next year.
Yeah.
Not even just big things. Like, I think he just needs to take the next step.
Yeah.
In showing consistency.
Yeah, I think we have him here too because we both expect him to really improve on a lot of things and really just build off of what he did this past season.
Yeah, and again, going to consistency thing. he reminds me, and I'm not saying he's Josh Allen at all, but a lot of his issues are a lot of the same issues that a Josh Allen, a Pat Mahomes had. It's the accuracy and just simple throws that you would just miss. Because he'll make a crazy big-time play. Mm-hmm. Next play is...
Why did you do that?
I think my grandma could have made that throw. Yeah. Those are the types of things that Drew Aller needs to improve on. And if he does, has a very good chance of winning the Heisman next year and being a very high draft pick.
Yeah. No, I agree. Number one, I feel like there's a lot of people's number one. Arch Manning, quarterback from Texas.
Yeah.
I want you to speak on this more. You working at Texas when he was a freshman. You saw him at practice every day. You saw how he went about his business. You saw the kind of talent he had that no one else saw behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I definitely want you to deep dive on this, but he is clearly our one. I am interested to see what happens with Quinn Ewers. I do not think, you don't think either, that he'll be the starting quarterback at Texas next year. Whether it's portal, draft, I don't think, and I think a lot of people don't think he will be the starting quarterback at Texas.
No chance.
Which gives us the perfect opportunity to see Arch Manning as a full-time starter.
Texas has robbed college football fans of some of the best football you are going to see. Arch Manning is like that. I've been telling you. I've been telling a lot of people. I
remember I was still working at Navy, and you either call or texted me because, just talking, checking up and stuff. And I remember you're like, dude, Arch Manning is different. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, he's a man, and, yeah, he's a man, and, he's supposed to be different. And you're like, dude, this, I've never, this dude's different.
It's,
all right, calm down now.
I don't think people are ready. You are not ready. You guys are not ready for how good this dude is. He started 2 games this year, but he wasn't the true starting quarterback.
Yeah, he came in on certain packages, or whenever.
No, he started 2 games.
I would say whenever Quinn Ewers was out, he came in. But I mean, working in college football, we understand just mentally, there's a big difference of. Knowing you are the guy leading not just the offense but the team, and knowing you're the guy that's just there to keep it steady.
Yeah,
there's a big difference.
That's what he was.
That. Yeah,
that he was there to make sure the I'm blanking on an analogy right here, but you can use your own analogy. You know what I'm trying to say. He was there to make sure that we stayed on track.
Yeah,
and he did. He won the 2 games he started.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn came back and took him to the semifinal. Now, if Arch Manning is the quarterback for the entire season, starting at the beginning of the year,
playing all 12 regular season games,
there's a chance they're playing on Monday. I really think there's a chance they'd be playing on Monday.
I definitely, and I don't think anyone would really argue, just strictly talent, pure talent-wise, Arch has the talent to take a team all the way.
If I were to say the word Manning,
yeah.
Other than big forehead, what would come to your mind?
Smart, good pass, a very good pocket passer.
Yeah. Emphasis on the pocket
yes,
passer.
And he is not that.
Arch Manning. If he isn't, he might be one of the best athletes on the entire football team at Texas. I've seen Arch Manning in a scrimmage run 70 yards straight up the middle of the field on a drop back pass without getting touched.
Yeah.
He didn't get touched by a corner, a safety. He's got the red shirt or the black shirt on, so obviously they can't touch him. But there wasn't a chance for him to get touched.
But the defense is still taught. You go in, you touch the head.
Especially because he's the backup quarterback.
Yeah, you go in, you touch the head.
Quarterback.
I wouldn't say hit.
You can hit the.
You can
accidentally hit.
You can let him know your presence.
You can let him know I was about to kill you right
Yeah,
there.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. You could definitely go up hey, just know this was a game.
No one had an opportunity to even do that on that play. And we're talking about Texas starting defensive players.
Yeah.
A team that just was in the semifinal of the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Running right by them.
Mm-hmm.
He's a different breed.
Yeah, no. I'm very excited.
He's going to change the meaning of Manning.
Yeah.
And
especially in this day and age of what a quarterback is. A quarterback, or at least an elite or good quarterback is expected to use their legs now. So having him coming from that Manning tree, that Manning bloodline, now he can run. He's an athlete. Like, it's going to be very exciting to watch.
Yes. And I think people don't realize how big he is.
Big boy.
He's 6'5".
From the south. He's just a southern boy.
He's a 6'5", and he will lay the boom on you too.
Yeah.
Like, he is not scared of contact. And he can make any throw. Like being there, and again, he was a freshman when I was there. I can't even imagine what he is now. But I was just in awe of him as a freshman. I've never seen anything like him.
Yeah.
He's going to be a junior next year. I can't even 2 years of just being able to sit and like just soak
just
in.
really absorb that offense. Not just absorb that offense. Like, chemistry is such a big thing. I think chemistry is a big thing at any level.
Now, is it a little scary that Isaiah Bond and Matthew Golden just announced they're going to enter the draft? Sure, but
guess what? You're Texas. You're getting weapons. You're gonna have weapons. You're Texas.
And just a little. I'm gonna give you guys a little free scoop into next season of Texas. Ryan Wingo. Oh my God. He might be the third best receiver in the country beside Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith. Ryan Wingo is like that.
I feel you.
He's gonna be so good. Do you even know who that is?
I've heard the name. Obviously, I haven't, you would know a lot better, but I have heard the name Ryan Wingo. I have heard, this guy could be
Speaking of the two guys we just talked, Isaiah Bond and Matthew Golden. Right now, pretty safe to say they're probably both going to be top 2 round picks.
Yeah, yeah.
Ryan Wingo was playing over Isaiah Bond by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Ryan Wingo is going to be the next best thing in Texas. Outside of
Arch Manning. Yeah. All right, quick recap of our top 2 early Heisman predictions. Number 3, Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback out of LSU.
Not Grant.
Not Grant. Number 2, Drew Aller, quarterback, Penn State. Number 1, Arch Manning, quarterback out of Texas.
If you have money to bet, I would put a futures bet on Arch Manning to win Heisman right now. Because after week 2 of college football...
If you lose money, it's not on us.
We didn't tell you to do this.
We are not professionals.
But...
if you lose money, it's not on us.
After week 2 of college football next year, his odds are going to be minus 1,000.
I'm telling you, for it.
I'm telling you he's that good.
Are you yourself going to put down money?
No. No. But I'm talking about, I'm sure right now there's still pretty good odds for him. I bet you it's plus 400, and that's not even.
I don't think it's that.
I bet you it is. What are you thinking? Plus 1,000?
I'm thinking plus 1,000.
Nah, there's no chance.
Just because we haven't seen him as the full-time starter, and I'm not denying him. Obviously, he's on our number 1. I think he will end up winning it for our 2 early prediction. But I just think having plus 400. If I'm Vegas, I think that is too much. Just because we haven't seen him as a full-time starter.
If it's what he's saying at plus 1,000, put 1,000 on it.
Oh my! Don't disclaimer: we are not professionals. We are not financial advisors. You lose money at your own risk.
Yes, but I like those odds.
Not bad odds. Anything else you want to say?
No, other than Arch Manning's going to be the 2026 Heisman winner.
We'll see. Feel free, please follow us on Twitter at PM Football Podcast. Follow us on TikTok. Hopefully that is still a thing.
Hopefully by the time you see this video, you can still click on TikTok.
Yes, at PM Football Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Help us out. Comment. Let us know what you want to see. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
See ya.